Here, you can be your best. The best train here. Learn here. Succeed here. Perform here. Win here. Thrive here. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
Guys, you're not going to believe the luck I've had lately. Just the other day, I had a flat tire, thought I was in big trouble. Before I know it, somebody pulled over, fixed the tire.
Oh, that's not luck, Kirk. It's because
That's not the only thing. How about when I'm in a studio, drop the cell phone, bang, shatters completely. Guy hands me a brand new cell phone.
Yeah, Kirk, that's because you have Renaissance Rewards Extra.
Yeah, roadside assistance, cell phone protection, coupon straight to your phone.
And another discount with Renaissance Rewards Extra, Mr. Herbstreit.
Life's just easier when you have Renaissance Rewards Extra.
Good afternoon and welcome to the ICC Hour. I'm your host, Adam Gore, and we're rolling through our 20th season on the air with the ICC Hour. 2 decades of stories, students, and community right here at Itawamba Community College. Now, we've got a great lineup for you today. In our first 2 segments, we'll look back at a recent visit from Chase Parham and Jeff Roberson. They stopped by campus to speak to our humanities class and share some fantastic insight on their new book, Stories from Ole Miss Baseball. It's a fun, thoughtful conversation about the game, the people, and the memories behind it all. Then later in the show, Ethan Foster joins us to preview the upcoming Emerging Scholars Luncheon. It's always a highlight here at ICC, and you'll want to make sure you pay attention and tune in for that part of the show because he has some very important information on how you can be part of that luncheon. You're listening to the ICC Hour. It's being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, member FDIC. You can find out what's next by visiting renaissancebank.com. Speaking of what's next, it's going to be our conversation with Chase and Jeff coming up right here on the ICC Hour.
Guys, you're not going to believe the luck I've had lately. Just the other day, I had a flat tire, thought I was in big trouble. Before I know it, somebody pulled over, fixed the tire.
Oh, that's not luck, Kirk. It's because
That's not the only thing. How about when I'm in a studio, drop the cell phone, bang, shatters completely. Guy hands me a brand new cell phone.
Yeah, Kirk, that's because you have Renaissance Rewards Extra.
Yeah, roadside assistance, cell phone protection, coupon straight to your phone.
And another discount with Renaissance Rewards Extra, Mr. Herbstreit.
Life's just easier when you have Renaissance Rewards Extra.
Welcome to the pasta party!
1, 2, 3.
Making new traditions,
Now let's go and keep going, keep going.
sharing old stories. Homemade pasta
Enjoy, cheers to us, we did it!
and a nice cold Coke.
Okay, ready? 1, 2.
That's my recipe for magic.
Are you in the market for a new or used vehicle? Look no further than Metro Ford. We have an incredible selection of F-150s, Explorers, Broncos, and so much more. Whether you're looking for a rugged truck for the job site or a family-friendly SUV, our expert team is here to help you find the perfect vehicle to fit your lifestyle and budget. And with our streamlined financing process, getting behind the wheel of your dream car has never been easier. Stop by today and experience the Metro Ford difference. We're conveniently located at 1000 Barnes Crossing Road in Tupelo. Online at MetroFordAutoSales.com. That's MetroFordAutoSales.com.
It feels like the deck is stacked against you before you even start your business. What's the difference between someone who fails and someone who succeeds? To succeed, you need an edge. You might invent technology that nobody else can imagine. Maybe you make the perfect product with the perfect fit. But what every successful business has is a bank that is there for them. Instead of saying slow down, a bank that asks, what's next? Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
Chase, Jeff, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Great crowd out today. I know it's been a great day for you guys. And just real quick before we jump into the questions, just talk about the day and how it's gone so far.
Yeah, it's been fabulous just to be back in general. I got an opportunity a couple years ago, I guess now, to serve on the Humanities School of Humanities alumni board or advisory board, whatever we're calling it. Sorry, and it's been a great honor and blessing for me because I told somebody earlier today that I do a lot of things at Ole Miss and I do things other places, but this is where I got my start, and coming back and the level that people care, and that really there's a connection that is deeper and bigger, and that I really care about the place. So it's been an honor for me to be here to spend this day. Thanks for everybody who helped organize it, obviously Masho, and just to see people make new connections, to network, and hopefully teach some of the students things that I knew at the time and things that I didn't know at the time that I wish I did. So that's kind of where I'm at today.
Absolutely. Jeff?
Well, it's really good to be here, and thank all of y'all for being here, and I'm glad to be on board with Chase and Adam. I'm not an ICC alum, but I am from Baldwin, so I am in the neighborhood. So it is great to be here, and we've had a good day so far, and looking forward to this, and I think it'll be fun.
So we're talking about the book, Stories from Ole Miss Baseball. And Jeff, let's start with you. What was the original inspiration for the book? Was it a particular game, maybe a player, or maybe an idea that kind of sparked this concept for you?
Well, I think the main inspiration for this book, and there were a couple of them in this state about the same time, but the one in 2022 was Ole Miss's national championship, and that kind of sparked some other books, and then this too. And so that kind of put us over the top to be able to do something that we think and hope is special in this book of stories. And it is a story book. It is a book of shorter stories where, you can enjoy them and read them and maybe not have to go through the whole book and, just take your time and read it. But the inspiration for it is, I guess I've covered Ole Miss baseball for 35 years. And as I put in my bio a couple places, I think I've covered over 1,000 games. So I was a little inspired. I told Coach Bianco one day, not too long ago, I said, I've spent more time at Oxford University Stadium, Swayze Field, than any place in Oxford but my house. So, that was kind of my inspiration, and to be able to do it with Chase was special.
Yeah, I think that's the lead up for me. Is we had talked about this for a while, and you need the right environment for the book. You are trying to sell it. There is that, and the title gave that in 22. But beyond that, and I'm not just saying this, it was to work with Jeff. Jeff hired me for my first job out of college, my first full-time job, and we've covered so many games together in years. And in a lot of ways, we've defined our professional career by baseball and baseball coverage, and to do that with him was an important thing for me to do at this step of my career and at this point in time. And then the other part is that Ole Miss baseball, there's a rhythm to Oxford in the spring when it's good, and it has a tangible personality to it in so many different ways. And I thought, hey, we can tell this for fans, young or old, stories of how we got here, why it matters. And Jeff's exactly right. Mississippi State's very similar. They win the title in 21, and Starkville has the same kind of rhythm. And this is a college baseball state. So how do we show and how do we prove that it's not just an era, but it's a special thing that's happened from the beginning? And we go all the way back to 1871, I think, is the first story in this book. And it really does. It tells stories of ebbs and flows, but there's so many personalities and so many important people that why do people love this team? Why do people love this program and this town in the spring because of it? And what can we show that, really defines why people care and why they fill up the stadium every single weekend?
Now, one thing my coaches don't like about me here is you'll say something and make me think of another question that's not on the list. So I apologize in advance for that. But you talked about stories from the 1800s. How did you go find those, confirm those, and, just legitimize those?
I'll take that, Chase, because Chase and I discussed this a good bit, especially from his point of view, which was originally, and you may have heard her say, I worked on a book called Stories from 125 Years of Ole Miss Football. That was back in 2019. Several of us worked on that book. And this one I wanted to call Stories from 150 Years of Ole Miss Baseball. Chase kind of pointed out a few things why we might not should call it that. And so I was very comfortable not calling it, putting the number on it. So, as far as, because we couldn't really go back and get a lot of stories from that far back, yearbooks, there was a book called that Dr. David Sansing, a former historian at Ole Miss and a history teacher, had written a sesquicentennial book, 150 Years of Ole Miss. And so we got some stories out of there. Long story short, we were able to find some old stories because there are not too many people that were hanging around the 1800s that are still here. But it worked out well, so because we got a few in there, and then we were able to pick up about World War II, 1950s. There's still some people in Oxford and other areas that played on some baseball teams in the 1950s at Ole Miss and on College World Series teams. So it was a few pages early, and then it got to be more of a modern book after that. So Chase had a good idea about not calling it 100.
Well, here's the benefit too: is nobody can prove you wrong. So if you have a story from 1890, one person goes, "Hey, I think this is what happened." Sounds good. It's a great story. It's going in the book. We're done right there. So there is a lot of that that.
It would have to be somebody's great grandchild or something that said, "No, that's not right."
Yeah. Well, let's kind of piggyback off that. So that was, you talking about the book name change from there. Were there any other type of changes that went on the concept from the original to the final draft to it being published? Did you change anything or any storylines or any ideas along the way?
My biggest thing, and Jeff and I discussed this a lot, was that because you didn't have a ton of information from the beginning, let's not organize it where we feel like we have something from every year or to make it read like an encyclopedia. Let's just simply document the years, but make it more along the way. And I think we made it a little more casual in that aspect, and it was a huge change that I think went for the good there, because we were playing off the football version of this book that was very much this year, then this year, then this year. And we show the year, but it's not so locked into that concept. Let's just find the best stories. Let's talk to as many people as we can, and then let's go from there. And like you said, there's a few from really early on. The very first story in the book from 1871 is one of my favorite things there, just because it shows the time period, because Ole Miss on their athletics website says that baseball started in 1893. But as he said through Dr. Sansing, they tracked it back to 1871, where Ole Miss had played a game in Holly Springs in 1871. And there's this letter that's in the book it is one of my 5 favorite things from the book. And it's a letter from one of the team members to the Lyceum, to the chancellor president of Ole Miss, asking to play a game in Water Valley on a Friday night. And this is like 1875. And he promises 2 things. He says, we will be back for class on Monday and we'll stay away from the whiskey. And that's the 2 things they said. And sure enough, they go, they play the game. They sent a faculty rep with them. They didn't let them go by themselves. And he
chaperone.
Chaperone. And they go, hey, how does that work? But I guess they were taking horse and buggy. Even though it's just Water Valley, there was a process to that. So, we were able to, in some ways, even identify earlier time periods than the university currently recognizes.
One thing in that same section of the book, it also said that the students were getting smarter and smarter. They made the faculty honorary members of the baseball team, so they got in good with them that way. So we found some things like that were kind of good for the book.
Well, let's just piggyback off that as well. Are there any stories that maybe you didn't know about, or maybe some that you talk about are your favorite stories that are in the book? Just some of those talking points or stories in the book that may maybe intrigue some other people that they may not know about.
Go ahead, Jeff.
There is one that I'll tell you that jumps out at me immediately, and it would probably be a part of almost everybody in this room, considering most people in here I'm thinking are Ole Miss or Mississippi State. Now, there's some others, I'm sure. But in 1918 and 1919, a man named Dudy Noble was the head baseball coach at Ole Miss. And Dudy Noble is really a Mississippi State guy and spent all of his career otherwise at Mississippi State. And for most of you that would know, the baseball field at Mississippi State is called Dudy Noble Field, named after an Ole Miss baseball coach. How about that? But in the true aspect of the rivalry, Dudy Noble's famous quote, which we have in the book, is, "I know what hell is like. I coached at Ole Miss."
It's not a story, but it's the opportunity of being able to quote and tell the experiences of the people. Because look, if you're a baseball person in general, you're going to know Don Kessinger and Jake Gibbs, and 2 guys that are the only two-sport All-Americans in Ole Miss's history. But you're talking about a long major league careers. Don Kessinger, 6 All-Star games, 2 Gold Gloves, one of the faces of the Cubs through a generation. And Jake, who's maybe one of the most gifted storytellers in Mississippi history. And Jeff and I had the ability to have hours and hours and hours of conversations with them and hear the stories, and then find a way to document them for people all throughout the book, because they're littered through the book. Because when you're doing a book like this, there's 20 people that you absolutely have to talk to. And then it gets kind of hard because there's these 100 or these 100, and you can't include everybody. So where are you finding the stories? But you knew that you had so many great anecdotes from Jake and Donnie and Robert Kayat and guys like that, they're getting up in age too. You want to make sure that you can document those things before it's too late to do that, whether it's just memory loss or whatnot. And, one of the best things about that is with Jake Gibbs, we talked to him for 6-7 hours. We thought we had every story, and we've done this 1,000 times. And he calls and says, "Hey, there's one more thing. Let's go back over there real quick." And he goes, "Hey, did I tell you about the time I got cussed out by Ted Williams?" And we're like, we did 10 hours of this, and Major League Baseball Hall of Famer, and he starts telling that story, and he's always just got one more. And I thought, there is something to really books in general, that it's the only thing we do that doesn't go away almost immediately. We do a podcast, we write stories, everybody moves on in a day. But there's a certain living history to a book, and to be able to document and hear from those personalities and those experiences was by far the most special part.
Absolutely, and we do actually have a connection then, because Jake's grandson, Luke, played baseball here. Sure. So I got that little ICC tie there as well.
Guys, you're not going to believe the luck I've had lately. Just the other day, I had a flat tire, thought I was in big trouble. Before I know it, somebody pulled it over, fixed the tire.
Oh, that's not luck, Kirk. It's because
that's not the only thing. How about when I'm in a studio, drop the cell phone, bang, shatters completely. Guy hands me a brand new cell phone.
Yeah, Kirk, that's because you have Renaissance Rewards Extra.
Yeah, roadside assistance, cell phone protection, coupon straight to your phone.
And another discount with Renaissance Rewards Extra, Mr. Herbstreit.
Life's just easier when you have Renaissance Rewards Extra.
Welcome to the pasta party!
1, 2, 3.
Making new traditions.
Okay, now let's go and keep going, keep going.
Sharing old stories. Homemade pasta.
Enjoy, cheers to us, we did it!
And an ice cold Coke.
Okay, ready? 1, 2.
That's my recipe for magic.
Are you looking for a place
that creates lifelong friendships? A place that feels like home.
A place that drives you to new opportunities.
That teaches you skills to improve.
A place that sets the standard.
That challenges you to be better every day. A place full of opportunity.
We are that place. We are Itawamba Community College, and you belong here.
Let's order boring, overpriced food for the gang.
Hey guys, try Little Caesar's cheesesteak crazy puffs instead.
They're only $3.99. Can't beat that in this economy.
Cheesesteak? Little Caesars is the real deal.
Any other advice?
Yes, avoid highways. Now, Saquon?
No.
Now?
There's a car right there.
What's a car? Try new cheesesteak crazy puffs for $3.99. Little Caesars is the real deal.
Pizza.
Are you in the market for a new or used vehicle? Look no further than Metro Ford. We have an incredible selection of F-150s, Explorers, Broncos, and so much more. Whether you're looking for a rugged truck for the job site or a family-friendly SUV, our expert team is here to help you find the perfect vehicle to fit your lifestyle and budget. And with our streamlined financing process, getting behind the wheel of your dream car has never been easier. Stop by today and experience the Metro Ford difference. We're conveniently located at 1000 Barnes Crossing Road in Tupelo. Online at MetroFordAutoSales.com. That's MetroFordAutoSales.com.
ICC fans, we've got you covered like never before. The all-new Let'sGoICC.com is your award-winning home for everything ICC athletics, and when it's game time or showtime, head to Let'sGoICCTV.com, the official streaming home for ICC athletics, fine arts, and other special events. Watch it live or on demand anytime, anywhere. Let'sGoICC.com and Let'sGoICCTV.com, your front row seat for all things ICC.
It feels like the deck is stacked against you before you even start your business. What's the difference between someone who fails and someone who succeeds? To succeed, you need an edge. You might invent technology that nobody else can imagine. Maybe you make the perfect product with the perfect fit. But what every successful business has is a bank that is there for them. Instead of saying slow down, a bank that asks, what's next? Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
Oh, you kind of touched on this earlier. How did you guys come together to collab on this book?
Well, we covered baseball and sat closer together than this for many, many years in a press box is one thing. And we've traveled a lot together. And so, we went to Omaha on the World Series trip and hung out together for those 11 days up there. And so it was, I think for us too, to be able to do this book made a lot of sense in a lot of ways. And we were just excited to be able to do it. So, collaborating together and some of our stories, many of them, we've experienced the same things, especially the last 20 years since Chase has been involved with Ole Miss baseball. But, there's some stories in there about, so many things that we've been through together, and it just made a good fit that we knew that we were the two that should pick this up and run with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can call whether this is a good or bad thing, but we've defined so much of our careers by it. I don't think there were two other people that could have written the book, frankly. I will say that at this point.
I didn't get quite to that point.
Yeah,
but
sure. I mean, I don't know. I mean, let's just cut to the chase. It is what it is.
I figured there was somebody, but I didn't
Yeah.
know who it might.
So players, coaches, administrators, a lot of people helped put into this. You've already talked about a few, but who are some other people that really helped pour into this project?
Well, one thing I want to say on that just to begin with is that when you do a book like this or a project like this, rarely, maybe never, does anybody say, I don't want to be a part of it. All those players, all those former coaches, they all want to be involved in it. So that makes it pretty easy from the get-go. And a lot of the things that we did were we went back and reached to some of our own old stories or former stories or stories from the past that we had written for me in the 1990s at the Oxford Eagle or at the Ole Miss Spirit when I worked there for 20 years. And so, it was easy to get to people, to talk to them and find old stories. So that was part of it. Chase, you might want to add some things to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think as he said, everybody wants to be a part of it. People like talking about themselves. They love telling their stories. They love, reminiscing and having reunion types and playing off of each other in those ways. The biggest thing was let's not tell something had happened, but let's try to find some emotion in it. And I think that was one of the keys too. And Jeff gave me this advice, I think, from the football book was sometimes you call somebody and go, hey, just tell me something I don't know. And it can be that simple of figuring out, this is a great journalism communication tool, is just simply tell me something that would be on your mind or what's the best thing. And, even somebody like Stephen Head, the only 3-time All-American in program history, where I felt like I'd known all of his stories and we'd all written and whatnot. I asked that and started with it, and he led into something that I didn't know. And he thought, okay, that's the way to get to beyond documenting, but telling and finding some emotion in the story.
And Adam, here's one example that I'll give. And some of you may know this particular person. I know some in here do, but there's a pitcher from Tupelo named Will Klein, and Will Klein pitched at Ole Miss about 20 years ago, and Will Klein struggled as a pitcher for a little while, and he had gone through some things, and I didn't know all the reasons or the backstory or anything like that. But when I called Will to talk to him about what turned his career around and some of the things that he went through to get to become an ace on the Ole Miss pitching staff back in 2006 and 2007, he said the magic words, "Let me tell you all about how I got to that point." And that was all I needed to hear because I didn't know any of that. And that gave me the whole story that I needed because I knew a lot of it, but I didn't know the things that he was about to tell me. So if you can get somebody that's that quick to say, let me tell you all of this, then you're in good shape.
And Will's got one of the best quips because he said when he was really bad before he got good, he was on the mound, he was pitching, and Mike walked out. Mike Bianco, Mrs. head baseball coach now for 25 years. He walked out and told Will, he goes, "It's really okay. Don't worry about it. It's not your fault for sucking. It's my fault for recruiting you." And he went, "Okay, that's where we are." So he said, sometimes, and he said he got me back going a little bit. We all laughed and we shared a moment. We went from there. So,
So, are there any stories that didn't make the book that you guys may want maybe to share now or anything like that? Because there's always that tough editing process where you got to condense things, cut things back, and
Are you asking, is there a volume 2?
No,
is there a volume 2?
Jeff was incredibly paranoid about leaving everybody out because there was, as I said, there's no way you're not. So it's just your biggest worry because your heart sinks because you want to have everybody involved. Is somebody walking up to you and going, "Hey, I can't wait to read your book and read about my uncle, dad, whatever." You go, "Man, he's not in the book." Well, you go, "Nah, that doesn't happen." Because that happened to me with the 22 book.
Right.
I write about the national title, and I had a mom contact me and send me a text and go, "Hey, my son's in it, right?" No, not so much. Not at all. So
and that really that bothered me a lot, that we were going to leave somebody out, or we were going to forget something, or that we should have put something in. And I got to admit, it still kind of does. Doesn't seem to bother Chase as much, but I think about it too much probably. But I think what we presented was hopefully a good book, and what we left out.
So how does this book differ from your other books?
Completely different. In 2022, you can write a book about any championship team. They do it. It's all the time. But that season was emotional and strange and had so many different dramatic elements that it actually deserved a book. And there's a difference between writing a book because a team won, where it's just simply a commemorative. Because you can do that where everybody's going to buy it and it's a great Christmas gift and we're just going to celebrate the team that went 60-10. But for that book, you had a head coach that was going to be fired. I knew the day that Mike was going to be fired. They were dead last in the SEC. They were 7-14 in the SEC going into the month of May. They had lost 2 out of 3 at Arkansas, and he held a team meeting and told his coaches, "Look, I know we're probably done, but show up every day, do the best you can, because at the end, if we get fired, we at least say we tried every day, we didn't leave anything out there, we won't have any regrets in doing so." Basically, I know your wives are upset, I get it, but this is where it's at. At the same time, they've got an outfielder whose mother has been told she has 2 weeks to live. 2 weeks. He's dealing with all that in the process. And they rebound and they find it and they go on this magical run. They win 10 of 11 games in the postseason. They win the College World Series, and T.J. McCants, the outfielder I mentioned, is hugging his mother in Omaha. She passed away a couple months later. There were so many things, that element, and so many people involved where real life stuff was taking over that Ole Miss had beaten Arkansas to move to the finals against Oklahoma. And I contacted Neil White, who published the current book, and I said, "Hey, I've got an idea for a book." And he goes, "Well, I do too, but don't jinx it. Shut up and call me next week if they win." And I said, "Okay, fine." So I called him the next week and he says, "Hey, I think you are on to something, but you got to really hurry." And his point was, I met with him for lunch. I think Jeff was with us, and he handed me the book of another author. And I said, "Is this inspiration?" He goes, "Yeah, but not in the way you think." He goes, "This guy took too long to write that story. And once he missed the holiday season, the book was obsolete. We got into the next year. So I did all original reporting for that story and had to write the entire book in 60 days. Wow. It had to get to the editors and the publishers in 60 days. I did my first interview on July 5th. I talked to Keith Carter, the athletics director, and the book was in stores on September the 29th. So that was the turnaround on that. So for this book, it was more about getting it right. We even delayed our deadline a couple times to make sure we really focused in on certain aspects and talked to the right people. That other one was just a sprint. You were just trying to make sure that you told it correctly and well, but it was nowhere near the same process.
That's a whole other story in itself right there. Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback on what he said was, I was not involved in that 60-day book that he did, so thank goodness. But I worked on one at that point too with Neil White, the editor, the publisher that published our most recent book, and it was more of a photo book. The photographer for Ole Miss and some other people put a book together, and I simply had to do some short stories. Most of them I had already written, either at the regional, the super regional, or in Omaha. So, that was a completely different situation than this. But we had already started thinking about this book. You start thinking about those kind of things, and maybe it takes a little while to get to this point. But we knew we wanted to do another book like the one we've done now. Didn't really know. Maybe we could do it in a couple of years, but it took this long. And then Ole Miss had a good season this past season, which helped kind of get everybody back in the right mindset. So I think the timing on it was good.
What advice would you have, say, if anybody's thinking about writing a book or anything like that? What advice would you guys have other than don't do it? No, I'm kidding. But,
well, I was not going to say don't do it, but I'm going to say one thing, then I'm going to turn it over to Chase. If you think you're going to make a lot of money, just enjoy the writing part, because with the hours you put in on something like this, and I'm not saying you can't make money. There's a guy named John Grisham who is from this area too that has made a lot of money writing books. But that's one thing that our publisher Neil White, I went to some book conferences that he put on, some workshops, I guess. But it's not about the money. It's about doing what you love and writing a book and writing stories and. So start with that. If you like to write, or if you have a story to tell, or if you know one that you want to tell of somebody else's, that's where you start, and then you try to figure out if you can make some money or not.
Read a lot, because if you read, you start figuring out things, the ways you want to tell it. There's two parts to it. One is just do it. If it's something that's on your head and you can't let it go, because here's the truth: it's hard. It's a lot of work. It's hard. It's mentally draining. It's one of those deals where if you can put it down and be okay, you probably don't want to write it badly enough, because you have to really want to do it. But if you're at that point, just go for it. I mean, I'm scared to death. I mean, I've told some people my next book is fiction. I don't know how to write fiction. I have no idea, but I'm doing it. I'm working on it. We're going to see what happens. I have no preconceived notions, but here we are. Once it gets written, the technology today, and this goes for a lot of things. This goes for podcasts or anything else. It's really easy to get something out there. Now, it's really hard to get anybody to read it or to make money off of it, but it's really easy to do. So Kindle, they have a company, Amazon has a company called KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing. It's free. You can just simply upload manuscripts. They are available on Amazon. If anybody wants to buy it, it's there to buy. It's actually what I did for my first book, because Neil White told me it was still coming out of the pandemic to some extent, and he said, I can't get the paper necessary as fast as you need to turn this thing around. So he helped me a ton with editing, and we hired a layout person and all that. But as far as the actual publishing process, it was technically self-published, because I used KDP. I ordered all the author copies, sent them to stores myself, and then at the same time, Amazon's printing the book. So if you bought from Amazon, it went directly from them to the consumer. Okay. Yeah, so KDP is an excellent resource if you are at that point.
Gotcha. Well, you kind of hinted at what's next. Of course, Renaissance, a big sponsor. Got to get that plug in for us here. Yeah. Renaissance Bank, find out what's next. RenaissanceBank.com. What's next?
I hope I'm not covering a coaching search in about a month. That's immediately what's next from a football standpoint. Yeah, book-wise, I'm slowly getting through a fiction book that I've had in my head for a really, really long time. I don't know dates. I don't know when it's coming, but it's something that, as I said, I have to do it mentally. So that's where we are at this point. But beyond that, just working on podcasts, and I've only been at my current job now from a website side for about 3, 4, 5 months, whatever it is. So still building, still getting used to some new after 15 years at the old place. So that's kind of what I've got going on.
Yeah.
What's next? There's a book signing in Memphis. There's a book signing in Jackson. There's a book signing Nashville. We're having, those are the next things. And beyond that, I really hadn't given a whole lot of thought to another book yet. And I write some, and I've gotten some folders of things that I might put together for some things. But unlike Chase, I've never really been as interested in doing a fiction book as I have nonfiction or fact book or true book or whatever you want to say. I don't know that. I'm not saying I won't ever do that, but so for now, I'm just enjoying coming to places like ICC and sharing this book with you guys. So we'll look ahead later.
You're not going to believe the luck I've had lately. Just the other day, I had a flat tire, thought I was in big trouble. Before I know it, somebody pulled it over, fixed the tire.
Oh, that's not luck, Kirk. It's because
that's not the only thing. How about when I'm in a studio, drop the cell phone, bang, shatters completely. Guy hands me a brand new cell phone.
Yeah, Kirk, that's because you have Renaissance Rewards Extra.
Yeah, roadside assistance, cell phone protection, coupon straight to your phone.
And another discount with Renaissance Rewards Extra, Mr. Herbstreit.
Life's just easier when you have Renaissance Rewards Extra.
Welcome to the pasta party!
1, 2, 3.
Making new traditions.
Okay, now let's go and keep going.
Sharing old stories. Homemade pasta.
Enjoy. Cheers to us. We did it.
And a nice cold Coke.
Okay, ready? 1,
Ready.
2.
That's my recipe for magic.
Guaranty Bank, formerly known as First American National Bank, is a proud supporter of ICC Athletics. Visit gbtonline.com. Guaranty Bank, We're more than a bank, we're a community.
Let's order boring, overpriced food for the gang.
Hey guys, try Little Caesars cheesesteak crazy puffs instead.
They're only $3.99. Can't beat that in this economy.
Cheesesteak? Little Caesars is the real deal.
Any other advice?
Yes, avoid highways. Now, Saquon?
No.
Now?
There's a car right there.
What's a car? Try new cheesesteak crazy puffs for $3.99. Little Caesars is the real deal.
Pizza. Are you in the market for a new or used vehicle? Look no further than Metro Ford. We have an incredible selection of F-150s, Explorers, Broncos, and so much more. Whether you're looking for a rugged truck for the job site or a family-friendly SUV, our expert team is here to help you find the perfect vehicle to fit your lifestyle and budget. And with our streamlined financing process, getting behind the wheel of your dream car has never been easier. Stop by today and experience the Metro Ford difference. We're conveniently located at 1000 Barnes Crossing Road in Tupelo. Online at MetroFordAutoSales.com. That's MetroFordAutoSales.com.
This broadcast is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Metro Ford in Tupelo, Little Caesars, Guaranteed Bank in Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, Max Home, Bank Okolona, the ICC BSU, Sam's Town Market, the ICC Wesley Foundation, the ICC Alumni Association and Foundation, your Itawamba County State Farm Insurance Agent, Brandon Poland, and thanks to donations to the Sports Information Indian Club from viewers like you.
It feels like the deck is stacked against you before you even start your business. What's the difference between someone who fails and someone who succeeds? To succeed, you need an edge. You might invent technology that nobody else can imagine. Maybe you make the perfect product with the perfect fit. But what every successful business has is a bank that is there for them. Instead of saying slow down, a bank that asks, what's next? Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
And welcome back to the ICC Hour here on Super Talk Mississippi 101.9 FM. As always, the ICC Hour is being brought to you by our friends at Renaissance Bank. You can find out what's next by visiting renaissancebank.com. And what's next here at ICC? Well, we've got a big event coming up. That's going to be our Emerging Scholars Luncheon coming up. And we've got Ethan Foster joining us today to talk about that. And Ethan, thanks for joining the show.
Absolutely. Glad to be here with you, Adam.
Well, Ethan, before we talk about the luncheon, let's just go ahead and just kind of, I know you've been on the show before, but let's just remind everybody who you are and what you do here at the college.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for letting me come in today. Appreciate that as always. For those of you who may not know or don't know, my name is Ethan Foster. I am a recruiter here at ICC. Specifically, my office is on the Tupelo campus, but I serve ICC as a whole, all the way from the Fulton campus, the Tupelo campus, and even out at the Belden Center as well. I do high school recruiting visits. I work with the Office of Recruitment and Orientation here, so we are responsible for all things orientation and recruiting on campus, from lots of different events we've had this year, and then even in the spring that we'll continue to have.
And, of course, if his voice sounds familiar, you may see him on campus, but you're also doing a lot of stuff off campus as well. You can go on some of those, but kind of tell everybody what you do off campus as well.
Absolutely. So if you have heard from me this year, you probably have seen my face before. You might have one of my Square contact cards, but even earlier last week, I was over at Saltillo High School doing a visit with some seniors there. So whether it's meeting with them to tell them about all the awesome things we do at ICC and all the awesome opportunities that they have, or whether it's going to college fairs or even just trying to get seniors applied to ICC to get them ready for the transition so that they can sign up for orientation and enroll in classes. Really, it kind of takes on a life of its own based on the high school, wherever it might be, whether it's Monroe County, Lee County, insert any county here.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, Ethan, again, I appreciate you taking time out of your day. We are going to talk about this Emerging Scholars Luncheon. So just kind of tell everybody what that is.
Absolutely. So the Emerging Scholars Luncheon is one of the ways that we try to both encourage our students and commend our students who have a 24 or higher on the ACT. These are specifically senior students. It doesn't have to be from a certain county or from a certain school. We like to have at least 1 to 2 students from the majority of our schools, as long as they have that 24 on the ACT. But the idea is just to give them an opportunity to have a nice sit-down dinner or lunch, depending on where you're from. And also to come in to hear from Dr. Allen and from some other people here at the college. And then we also like to bring in a special guest speaker, usually someone who's graduated from ICC in the past and has gone on to do big things, whether that's in the medical field or the business field. It could be one of a number of many different avenues, but just trying to commend our students, encourage them and applaud them for their academic achievement, and to help them network with other high-achieving students, and also get a chance to sit down with some of our faculty and staff members here and see what some of their options are as high-earning students.
Yeah, and that's really kind of the way learning is shifting now. It's more of the collaborations, the like-minded individuals. Now, unfortunately, I would not be part of this luncheon because I kind of did not get to that 24 mark. But it is an awesome thing to do for those students that do achieve that, because it is a special achievement, and of course, it gets you tons of financial opportunities here as a college as well. Now, this Emerging Scholars Luncheon is on November the 13th. Can you tell me when registration is opening?
Absolutely. So the good news is that registration opens up this Friday. That date is October 17th. So, of course, that means you've got just under a month between when registration opens this week and when the actual event happens on November 13th. And I was looking at my calendar, and November 13th is actually on a Thursday, so right at under a month from when registration opens.
I got you. Where can they go to register for that?
Absolutely. So if you visit our ICC homepage, our website, you should be able to find that. You also will be able to search for that Emerging Scholars, but then also our counselors and career coaches will be getting some communications from the college, from the recruiting office as well. So my advice would be, if this qualifies to you, if you're a senior out there, or if you're a parent of a senior that has a 24 on the ACT, when registration opens up, just make sure that they are aware that registration is open. You can get in touch with us at the ICC recruiting office. Just give us a call, and we'd love to have them get registered, or get in touch with your career coach or your counselor at your respective high schools. They should be aware of this, and they will be getting those emails and communications from us as well.
And we're talking with Ethan Foster about our Emerging Scholars Luncheon coming up on November the 13th here at Itawamba Community College. iccms.edu for more information there. Ethan, so will they also get to learn things about our PTK program? I know that's an awesome program, our honors courses and stuff as well. Obviously, being on that level of an ACT score, that'd be something they'd probably be very interested in.
Absolutely. We will include programming to discuss with these students their opportunities with Phi Theta Kappa. For those of you who are not aware, as far as college goes, I know in high school there are lots of honor societies that might share names with others in college, but in the college level, for your students at the college level, Phi Theta Kappa is a nationally recognized honor society for transfer students. So the big draw for a lot of our students in PTK is not just community service opportunities, not just the chance to compete at the state and national level, but also the opportunity to obtain some really valuable financial aid and scholarship money when they do transfer out. So for me, when I transferred from ICC to Mississippi State, I was able to get some good scholarship money from PTK. And you students can be members of PTK. They can be as involved as they'd like, or if they would like to shoot for an officer position in PTK, that can even potentially get them more money as well. And then our Honors College is continuously being built up. I can remember when the Honors College was just being built when I was a student here back in 2017. And even since then, it has changed and grown a lot and continues to be so today. So we will, of course, have programming to talk in depth about PTK and the Honors College, anything your students might need to know about how they can join, the requirements that there are for both of those options will definitely be covered at Emerging Scholars, because those are the students that we know are looking for opportunities to succeed and to continue their high achievement that they've displayed in high school. So we want to make sure that they also know what their options are to continue seeking that high level of success at ICC. And we believe there are lots of ways to do that.
Yes. Now, one thing we have created here at the college is an honors dorm, Magnolia Hall. Will they get a chance to see that while they're here?
Absolutely. So at the end of our day, the end of our programming, we like to have what we call Sweets for Scholars.
Okay.
Fun little jingle there. But we'll usually get some kind of dessert. We've been getting crumble cookie in the past and bringing that to Magnolia Hall in the lobby for our Emerging Scholars attendees. Usually we like to do that just to have to kind of show off a little bit more of campus for those students. Maybe they've been on a tour before, maybe they haven't, but that will be a good opportunity for them to see what Magnolia Hall looks like. And the reason we do that is because Magnolia Hall, coincidentally, not really coincidentally, as they'll come to learn, but if you're a freshman at ICC and you have a 24 on the ACT, you actually qualify to live in Magnolia Hall as a freshman. And that's not the case for all freshmen on campus. That's why we call it our honors dorm, is because you have to have that 24 on the ACT if you want to live there as a freshman. A lot of sophomores who are very involved on campus will be able to move in there as well. But if you want to live there as a freshman, you got to have that 24. And as it just so happens, that also qualifies you to come to Emerging Scholars. And another thing we didn't mention, Adam, is that a 24 on the ACT will also qualify you for your full tuition to be paid for at ICC for your 2 years. Of course, our health science students who are here for more than 2 years, we have special accommodations for those. But 24 will get you a lot. And even if you go up from there, if you get a 28, you get your meal plan, your residence hall, and your tuition all paid for. So potentially even getting paid to come to school, like I did when I was here.
Well, I do want to say this as somebody that is paying back student loans. Most definitely take advantage of trying to get through school as much as you can, debt-free on that end. Well, Ethan, one more time, kind of just recap what the event is, when it is, and where they can register.
Absolutely. So we're talking the Emerging Scholars Luncheon coming up very soon. It happens on November 13th this year. Registration opening up this Friday, October 17th. It'll all be happening that day in the Davis Event Center at our ICC Fulton campus. You can expect the schedule to start around 10:45, 11 o'clock that morning or so for check-in, and then hopefully having you done around 1:45 to 2 o'clock with that Sweets for Scholars. Going to be a really good opportunity for your students to take part in our accelerated academic experience, meet with all of our different schools hear about PTK and honors, and just to be recognized for their academics and achievement.
Well, Ethan, before I let you go, you've got an audience in front of you. I'm going to let you give a sales pitch on why people should choose ICC.
Well, it's a question that I always pose to students when I go on recruiting visits. I always tell them that something they should be asking me is why ICC. I should not be asking them that. They should be asking me that. And honestly, there are lots of stories I could tell. There are lots of memories I made when I was a student here. And now I get to continue to pour into the lives of so many college students here today, which I think is a blessing. But the best and the most important thing I could say is that the memories I made here at ICC, the life lessons that I learned, the progress that I made growing and growing up as a young adult, I still am benefiting from that today. It's a place that's been very good to me, and I'm blessed to say that I get to see so many people on a daily basis who still are echoing the same sentiment that I did years ago, and that so many people have. It's a family here, whether you're in Fulton or Tupelo or Belton, and there are lots and lots of people here who want to see you succeed. We say it all the time that we believe that the best start here. And I even believe that the best come back and continue to work here and pour into those students' lives. So, whether it's affordability or the academic experience or even the on-campus experience, student life and student activities, I really truly believe there's not a better place to do it than right here at ICC. And I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if I didn't believe that was true.
I couldn't say it better myself, man. Ethan, I appreciate your time today. I know you're a busy guy. I appreciate you coming to Fulton today and also do this interview. Again, that's the Emerging Scholars Luncheon, November the 13th. Of course, you can visit your college career coach for more information, or you can visit iccms.edu for more information. Anything else?
Only thing I got to say is roll Tribe, Adam.
Roll Tribe. We'll be back with more of the ICC Hour right after this.
Guys, you're not going to believe the luck I've had lately. Just the other day, I had a flat tire, thought I was in big trouble. Before I know it, somebody pulled over, fixed the tire.
Oh, that's not luck, Kirk. It's because
That's not the only thing. How about when I'm in a studio, drop the cell phone, bang, shatters completely. Guy hands me a brand new cell phone.
Yeah, Kirk, that's because you have Renaissance Rewards Extra.
Yeah, roadside assistance, cell phone protection, coupon straight to your phone.
And another discount with Renaissance Rewards Extra, Mr. Herbstreit.
Life's just easier when you have Renaissance Rewards Extra.
Welcome to the pasta party.
1, 2, 3.
Making new traditions.
Now let's go and keep going, keep going.
Sharing old stories. Homemade pasta. Enjoy. Cheers to us. We did it. And a nice cold Coke.
Okay, ready? 1, 2.
That's my recipe for magic.
Are you looking for a place that creates lifelong friendships? A place that feels like home.
A place that drives you to new opportunities.
That teaches you skills to improve.
A place that sets the standard.
That challenges you to be better every day. A place full of opportunity.
We are that place. We are Itawamba Community College, and you belong here.
Let's order boring, overpriced food for the gang.
Hey guys, try Little Caesars cheesesteak crazy puffs instead.
They're only $3.99. Can't beat that in this economy.
Cheesesteak? Little Caesars is the real deal.
Any other advice?
Yes, avoid highways. Now, Saquon?
No.
Now?
There's a car right there.
What's a car? Try new cheesesteak crazy puffs for $3.99. Little Caesars is the real deal.
Pizza.
Are you in the market for a new or used vehicle? Look no further than Metro Ford. We have an incredible selection of F-150s, Explorers, Broncos, and so much more. Whether you're looking for a rugged truck for the job site or a family-friendly SUV, our expert team is here to help you find the perfect vehicle to fit your lifestyle and budget. And with our streamlined financing process, getting behind the wheel of your dream car has never been easier. Stop by today and experience the Metro Ford difference. We're conveniently located at 1000 Barnes Crossing Road in Tupelo. Online at MetroFordAutoSales.com. That's MetroFordAutoSales.com.
ICC fans, we've got you covered like never before. The all-new Let'sGoICC.com is your award-winning home for everything ICC athletics, and when it's game time or showtime, head to Let'sGoICCTV.com, the official streaming home for ICC athletics, fine arts, and other special events. Watch it live or on demand anytime, anywhere. Let'sGoICC.com and Let'sGoICCTV.com, your front row seat for all things ICC.
It feels like the deck is stacked against you before you even start your business. What's the difference between someone who fails and someone who succeeds? To succeed, you need an edge. You might invent technology that nobody else can imagine. Maybe you make the perfect product with the perfect fit. But what every successful business has is a bank that is there for them. Instead of saying slow down, a bank that asks, what's next? Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
And that's going to wrap up this edition of the ICC Hour. A big thanks to our guests, Chase Parham, Jeff Robertson, and Ethan Foster for taking time out of their day to join us for the show. Now, to learn more about Itawamba Community College, I encourage you to visit iccms.edu. That's iccms.edu. And if you're ready to see what ICC has to offer, you can schedule a campus tour at tours.iccms.edu. That's tours.iccms.edu. Now, basketball starts tonight with a home game against Lawson State. You can keep up with all things ICC athletics by visiting letsgoicc.com. Thanks as always for spending part of your day with us. Be sure to join us back here on Super Talk Tupelo next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Have a blessed week, and as always, roll Tribe.
Guys, you're not going to believe the luck I've had lately. Just the other day, I had a flat tire, thought I was in big trouble. Before I know it, somebody pulled over, fixed the tire.
Oh, that's not luck, Kirk. It's because
That's not the only thing. How about when I'm in a studio, drop the cell phone, bang, shatters completely. Guy hands me a brand new cell phone.
Yeah, Kirk, that's because you have Renaissance Rewards Extra.
Yeah, roadside assistance, cell phone protection, coupon straight to your phone.
And another discount with Renaissance Rewards Extra, Mr. Herbstreit.
Life's just easier when you have Renaissance Rewards Extra.
This broadcast is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Metro Ford in Tupelo, Little Caesars, Guaranteed Bank in Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, Max Home, Bank Okolona, the ICC BSU, Samstown Market, the ICC Wesley Foundation, the ICC Alumni Association and Foundation, your Itawamba County State Farm Insurance Agent, Brandon Poland, and thanks to donations to the Sports Information Indian Club from viewers like you.
Here, you can be your best. The best train here. Learn here. Succeed here. Perform here. Win here. Thrive here. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.